he voted. We're gonna start off with Johnny. Johnny apparently is getting hit with new stuff and may now be facing up to 31 years in prison. So, let's see what the fuck he did this time. I am curious. So let's go.
Things are now absolutely terrible for the disrespectful IRL streamer who's now stuck in South Korea because he just got hit with another deepfake charge, which adds an additional 10 and a half years of potential prison time in South Korea, which means the grand total of prison time that he's currently facing is 31 years in a South Korean prison. And he just admitted all the attention he's currently getting isn't even worth it anymore.
In the long run, do you think that it is worth it?
At this point, no.
I mean, come on. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's not worth it because you got caught and you're now facing massive prison time. That's why he's saying it's not worth it. He's finding out. And it's so fucking glorious to see. Listen to me. He sounded so dejected. Listen to him.
At this point, no.
I mean, come on.
Think of all the other videos we've seen with Johnny, where he's facing court. What's he done? He's tried to act all boisterous, act like he doesn't care. You know, he was being like sexually suggestive to the female police officers that arrested him. It's finally hitting him. He's finally realizing how fucked he is right now, and you could hear it in his voice. He sounds so dejected and so depressed. And honestly, it sounds good on him. It sounds fucking great on him.
Congratulations, you played yourself. Overall, harassing strangers in public should never be incentivized in general, but massive skill issue because you simply picked the worst countries to do it. Maybe not the worst, but definitely terrible countries to be doing this streaming in. Because let's be real, if he was doing this in the US, most likely he would be out on bail and he would only get a slap on the wrist for any trials that he actually went to. And I guess
I think that would depend upon the state. I think if he fucked around like this in certain states, he wouldn't get a slap on the wrist. Because he'd be just like in the US, it would not be only the cops and the courts that he'd have to worry about. It would be the fucking people. Like if he did this shit in the southern states, yeah, he wouldn't make it to the courts, I'm thinking. Yeah, not even just Texas, like any of the southern states, he'd be lucky to make it to the court. And if he did make it to court, he would not be looking great in court at that point. So I think we do need to be specific about that. If he was in, say, one of the coastal states or the northeast, the northeastern states or the northwestern states, yeah, he'd probably just be catch and release. They'd railroad him through the court system. They'd rubber stamp his shit. He'd be out. If he was in like the southern states, he'd be spending time on a chain gang. Would be my guess. If he pulled some of this shit, he'd either be spending some time on a chain gang or he wouldn't even make it that far. Because people would not hesitate to beat the holy shit out of him and his quote unquote bodyguard if Hank was even allowed into the fucking country. Like, he would get his ass handed to him.
Someone send him a Pal World cake in jail so his new friends can be happy. Cheer 100.
Pal World cake. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't even get that joke. Sorry.
For some reason, this absolute moron still operates like he's in the US. How you doing?
Good, what are you?
Good, can't complain. Currently recording this video in a business center in a Weston in Boston because I'm currently traveling. But news happened, so here we are. But I mean, hey, I'm only stuck in a Weston business center temporarily. Johnny is stuck in South Korea for the foreseeable future. Because I mean, right after the trial.
Wait.
Temporarily,
what was it?
Johnny is stuck.
Let's see. Streamer Giants by now facing up to 31 years in prison. He's charged with a second count of disturbing false videos in the form of deepfakes. Who else did he deepfake, I wonder? I can't wait to hear what this... Like, we know about the first deepfake. We know about the first one. I'm curious what the second one is here.
In South Korea for the foreseeable future. Because, I mean, right after the trial I watched, he was playing it cool. He was like, oh, nothing's really gonna happen to me. Nothing ever happens. I'll be out in no time. A couple months later, he's lost a lawyer, he's still stuck there, and new charges are dropping pretty much monthly at this point.
Oh, so he did lose that lawyer. The one that couldn't defend him in the first place. So, okay, I didn't... Okay, so he did lose that. Which I kind of figure because the lawyer didn't have a license to practice where he was being charged. So how much money did they shell out to that lawyer and said, yeah, and he went, yeah, I can't help you. Oh, he lost the public defender? Well, okay, Space Platoon. Did he lose the public lawyer because they consolidated all the cases to one court, so the public defender, the public defender in one court has no authority, and now it's all auspiced under the single public defender where everything's being consolidated to. And Moss, the paid lawyer, is not licensed to practice in the district where he's being charged, or in the province or the provincial district where he's being charged. He lost the public lawyer because he has a paid one. If that's correct, he's fucked because his paid lawyer is not licensed to practice. Oh, he's got a new guy. He has a new lawyer that actually can practice in the district that he's in. Okay. The lawyer in the Western District who is being paid registered in the East, so that guy, tax attorney, is running. A tax attorney? Okay, I had not heard that his lawyer was a tax attorney. Oh, fuck. This just keeps getting fucking better and better and better.
I don't know if he's going to get let off the hook as quickly as he thought. So it now seems like reality is really starting to set in with this guy, as his only friend and financial supporter is starting to get extremely fed up with him as he's getting more and more charges. But at this...
Patrick! I mean, tempting? Now, as far as like, okay, can a tax attorney defend him in criminal court in South Korea? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how the legal system functions. Okay, he was a public defender in the past and still is pro bono work. Okay, thank you, Steve. So he is probably still authorized and licensed to practice criminal law in that respect. Okay, thank you.
At this point, most people know the story. Absolute moron.
Johnny's
Japan,
ass
gets
isn't
in a
as
whole bunch
sweet
of
as it
trouble
used
there,
to be, so
ends
Hank's
up
getting
doing
fed up.
about 3 months of jail in Japan. Absolutely does not learn his lesson. Goes to Israel, gets detained a bunch, gets a bunch of threats, ends up doing something that gets him permanently banned on his only platform that he actually makes good money from, which is Kick. And then he ends up fleeing Israel while still permanently banned from Kick. What does he do? Absolutely still does not learn his lesson. He then goes to South Korea, rinse and repeat.
Yep.
Does the same thing all over again. Now, facing 31 years in prison because clearly he has still not learned his lesson. And nobody feels bad for him whatsoever because he has not learned his lesson.
Oh, it's not that nobody feels bad for him. People are cheering his demise. They're actively... Think about this. The people of the internet are cheering on his demise. They are enjoying the fuck out of his downfall. And they are cheering on the court system. This is where we're at. That people are literally cheering for the court system when most of the time people hate the court system. Kevin, I am too. I thought for sure he would get the absolute shit kicked out of him in Israel. I am still amazed that he made it out of that country unscathed. That shows a level of discipline that is quite substantial with the police in Israel. Oh, fuck, I forgot to turn that on. Oh, shit. Bots, refund the points. I forgot to turn on the bunk. Refund points, please. I will fix that right now. Come on, you. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, Inquisitor.
whatsoever. He's just been given way too many chances to, pack things up and pivot the way he's making content, but instead, he just continues to double down. Even after admitting the attention is not worth it, he still wants the attention. And a lot of people have been asking me, hey, why isn't he currently arrested in South Korea? Well, South Korea apparently operates very differently, especially when it comes to foreigners. Apparently, they don't want to spend the taxpayers' money on taking care of Johnny. They want to put that burden to provide for himself on Johnny. So now, Johnny essentially is homeless, except for Hank. He is now a burden to Hank and Hank's family.
Yes, Moose, he did. And we are all shocked that at this. Like, he literally, in Israel, sexually harassed a female police officer. And somehow made it out not only alive, but with limbs unbroken. Like, I would have thought for sure that him sexually harassing a female police officer would have at least gotten him a couple broken fingers. But you know what? As I said, it shows the level of restraint and professionalism that the police in Israel maintain. That someone blatantly disrespects them in their country and they will not just like curb stomp them into fucking oblivion. You know?
Family, because I guess Hank thinks it's a good idea to continue to pay for him. Because Hank, for some reason, thinks that's the right thing to do, even though, as you'll see, it's destroying his life as well. Johnny is a sinking ship and he's dragging everyone he can down with him. Because Johnny is stuck in Korea for the foreseeable future. He cannot leave Korea until all of his court cases are done, all of his time is served, and all of his fines are paid. Then he can finally leave. So until recently, he's had 5 charges that stuck and then 1 that got dismissed. 2 of them are misdemeanors. 2 of them are obstruction of business felonies, which hold a maximum of 5 years each in prison. Then you have 1 deepfake charge, which has a maximum of 10.5 years in prison. And just now, they added another deepfake charge, which adds another 10.5 years of potential prison time in South Korea. So he's now facing a maximum of 31 years in prison. And I guess after all this, he's slowly starting to realize that he's ruined his life.
I talked to my mom this week and
something got dismissed. Hang on.
Prison. Then you have 1 deepfake charge, which has
that's right. There was one that got dismissed. Oh fuck, I forget which charge. In an earlier video a couple weeks ago, it was Legal Mindset said that, I forget which charge it was that got dismissed. But yeah, one of the minor like nuisance charges did get dismissed. For the life of me, I cannot remember which one it was. Oh, the children, uncomfortable children one? The CSH trade of Lottie World? Okay, that's the one that got the theme park. Yeah, that's the one that got dismissed. Probably because it's not a slam dunk. Like, that's the thing to remember. All of the charges that are pending right now on Johnny in court are slam dunk. Like, we've said this before. The South Korean prosecuting attorneys, they don't put someone in front of a judge unless they are pretty much guaranteed to win. If they don't think that they can make a guaranteed win, they don't think they have the evidence, they don't think the case is solid enough, they will probably just release the person and drop the charges. So that means that all of these cases that they are bringing up in front of a judge with Johnny, they know they're going to win. Like, almost guaranteed they're going to win. And right now it's all stacking up to 31 years. And he has not endeared himself to leniency in any way, shape, or form. Karen fucking TU, the judge knows that when Johnny shows up in front of him and does some bullshit plea for leniency and says, I've learned my lesson, the judge is going to go, bullshit. And is probably going to say, you're lying. You've proven you're lying because you've been given because every time you get arrested, you go right back to doing it over and over again and get worse. So no leniency. That's my suspicion of what's going to happen when the court case finally goes through. Because leave us not forget, chat, he's already been found guilty in South Korea. That's something that people forget. Like, you're talking about he's facing up to 31 years in prison. That's before we haven't even gotten to the sentencing of the obstruction of business charge that he's already pled guilty for. We are still waiting on sentencing for that charge. Like, the case is done. He's pled guilty. He is guilty of obstruction of business. Now we're waiting on sentencing. Everything we're talking about right now is still pending charges that have to go in front of a court, that have to go in front of a judge. He is fucked 10 ways to Tuesday, and it is fucking awesome.
Adds another 10.5 years of potential prison time in South Korea. So he's now facing
This
a
is true,
maximum
Tornado.
of 31 years in prison. And I guess after all this, he's slowly starting to realize that he's ruined his life.
I talked to my mom this week, and she was like, really just like, you need to stop drinking. Like, it's ruining your life. You're 24.
Oh, you fucking piece of shit. You're blaming your behavior on alcohol. You're really gonna blame all this shit and basically claim that you're a dumb fucking drunk. No, gamer. No. That excuse doesn't fly. That excuse has about the amount of lift of a lead balloon. Alcohol is a factor. Sure. No, Leo, I appreciate that his mom is saying it, but the way he's talking, he's acting like that's what it was. Because we'll listen to the rest of it. He's probably going to say that he's probably going to, like, agree with her.
You know what I mean? You don't need to be drinking and doing this crazy because, you know what I mean? Like, alcohol is definitely the reason why I've done so many great.
What did I say? Yes. What? There it is. He's blaming it on alcohol. He's taking no personal responsibility other than drinking. He's taking zero fucking responsibility for being a complete piece of shit and just saying, oh, it's because of the alcohol. Nah, dude. Nah. It ain't the fucking alcohol. You are just a cock-gobbling piece of shit. And you're finding the fuck out, and only now, when you realize you're facing minimum 31 years in prison, again, not factoring in the already guilty plea, and not factoring in more charges that may still be coming down the pipeline, because God knows they may have a stack of fucking charges that are still coming. Only now are you having a come to Jesus moment. Because you realize, oh, I can't actually do what I want. I'd better blame it on the alcohol instead of me being a complete piece of shit. I didn't say I didn't call him a goblin venom, but I did call him a cock gobbler. Yes, I did.
Do not back down, never give up. It's not backing down, never giving up. It's about just bettering yourself as a person. I think
And there's his community. Listen, this is where I was saying his community makes worse. Listen.
It's not backing great. And do not back down, never give up. It's not backing down, never.
And that's what I'm talking about, where his community is just as culpable. That his community has a level of culpability. Someone in his community, in his chat just now, said, never back down, never surrender. Trying to tell him, no, keep being a complete piece of shit. Keep being a chaos streamer that brings absolutely no value to the human race. That's his chat. And that's why I say his chat has at least some level of responsibility for what he does. You know, that, like, I've said it before, the lion's share of the insanity that Johnny does is on Johnny himself. The lion's share of it, the bulk of it is. But the viewership he's cultivating the viewership that he performs for are just as bad because they live vicariously through him. They want him to get into as much trouble because they enjoy seeing him getting into trouble. So his chat is, they have their own level of culpability. The people that engage in Johnny's chat and actually pay him, 50 cents to go grind on on Korean statues honoring the women who were SA'd during World War II, the comfort women statues, the chatters that pay him 50 cents to do it, yeah, Johnny has a huge amount of culpability for basically turning himself into a 50-cent whore, but his chat also has the culpability because they're telling him to do it. So it's not only one-sided here.
Never giving up. It's about just bettering yourself as a person. I think I'd
fuck
be a
you.
better person if I didn't drink alcohol.
Oh, no. Oh, fuck. I'm pausing him a lot. I'm very sorry. I'm pausing a fuck ton here. No. Fucking no. You would not be a better person if you stopped drinking. You were doing this shit before you were drinking heavily. You've only started drinking heavily fairly recently. In fact, I'm pretty sure Korea is where you really started doing the really heavy fucking drinking. When he was doing this shit in other countries, and even in the United States, you weren't drinking, and you were still an asshole. You were still a worthless piece of shit that offers no benefit to society whatsoever. So do not even fucking try to say, oh, I'd be such a better person if I stopped drinking. No, you wouldn't. No, you would. Atsunashi probably, and he's violated that. If he has, he's violated that court order a million fucking times, which again, more charges that could be coming down the pipeline.
I feel like it doesn't bring anything better. It doesn't bring anything positive to my life. You know what I mean? I can make good content without drinking alcohol, like easily.
When Johnny is sober, he actually has some fairly reasonable takes. But that didn't really last for too long because, according to 15 Minutes of Shame, 1 single hour later, he was already drunk streaming.
Come party with us.
It's a quiet hour, so.
Okay.
Oh my God.
You like Diddy?
Yeah, I like Diddy.
You like this song?
Wait. Outside, I couldn't hear either.
Then come here and sit with us.
Dude, you bought another one?
No, it's the same one we had.
No, it's not.
Ace it is.
You finished the last one.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Oh my God.
All right, come Hank. Don't the bike. Can you dance with Diddy with me one time?
Well.
Oh, and Hank's got a fucking Chinese flag hanging up? Wow. Yeah, you can say, yeah, this is the face of regret right now. This is Hank going, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Why the hell did I get in with Johnny? He is regretting every fucking decision he's made right now. And Atsunashi, I am too.
Legal Mindset did a video saying Johnny could also be facing whiteness intimidation charges too.
Pickle, for God's sake, that's spelling gamer. Watch you spelling. And yes, witness intimidation. I don't doubt it.
Why are you like drinking so much, man? Come on.
Listen to Diddy with me, please.
All right.
I mean, Hank here is just acting
He
like a
is
disappointed
done.
father, and this is Johnny's only lifeline in Korea. Why would he be actively trying to burn this bridge? I guess he just can't help himself. But the reason I say this is in an interview, they actually admitted that Johnny has ran out of money, and Hank is his only lifeline, even though Johnny will still go on and on about saying, oh, I actually have money, and I'm not broke.
Legal Mindset and these channels, they spread like fake narrative that like I'm penniless and things like this. It's not true that I'm destitute and this stuff for me. I've been living an okay life here. You know what I mean? I stay with Hank, so I don't really have expenses for living.
But here's the reality of the situation.
I have sacrificed my finances. You know, like I've actually Johnny ran out of money because they refused Johnny to work. So I've been actually providing for him.
He's been helping me a lot. He's been helping me with not only like legal fees and stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's helped me pay for a lawyer and stuff like that. And he's a great friend. Like honestly, I respect him for that.
Oh, Hank wants him gone. You could see in that last video where he was drunk and you see Hank looking at him, you could tell Hank wants him fucking gone. He wants him gone. Johnny's ass isn't good enough. Johnny is not that good of a piece of ass for him to be putting up with this shit. Don't feel bad for Hank, David. Don't. No. Honestly, Hank is not someone you should be giving your sympathy to. Because Hank has been enabling the fuck out of Johnny. Leave us not forget, Hank pulled shit so bad he literally got deported from the US. Hank was also doing, I think he was also doing chaos streaming. He literally got his ass deported from the US. He's been banned from the US. He runs around wearing a Chinese-looking uniform. It's like a Chinese patch on the shoulder, wearing a balaclava, acting like Johnny's bodyguard, and acting like he's a hard ass and fully backing up Johnny. So do not feel bad for Hank. Hank is also in his own version of a find out arc. Okay? He is in his own find out arc, and he is also in the fixed stage of regret. You could see it on his face in that previous video that we just saw where Johnny is drunk. You could see the regret in his face, like, fuck, why did I get into this? Johnny's ass isn't worth this. Literally, like, Johnny's ass is not worth tapping with all this shit.
When I get out of here, a lot of it I do owe to Hank. He's a real man.
Yeah. So, and not to mention that I sacrificed my time and space here. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that all he says is he respects Hank for that, dude, if it wasn't for Hank, from what we're hearing, he would be homeless. So, I mean, the least he could be is a little more grateful to Hank, because apparently he was starving before Hank took him in.
And I actually fed him back to health, too. He was very unhealthy.
Okay. Yeah, very skinny. Hank claims when I was living on my own in Korea, I was very skinny and gaunt, you know, because maybe my diet was not good. But Hank is definitely, people now on the internet are saying I have, like, a gut and man boobs now because Hank has been feeding. I've been on the Hank diet, and Hank has been feeding me so well.
Yeah.
How long is that gonna last?
Oh yeah, right.
That's food. That's money. That means Hank's grocery bill has doubled since he took Johnny in. Like, he's not paying any more for rent, but his electric bill is probably higher because Johnny's using electricity. And his food bill is probably doubled. Maybe near triple, I don't know. And yes, I know he's been feeding him. And yeah, then let's leave us not forget all the alcohol, too. It would not surprise me if Hank, before the trials conclude, it would not surprise me if Hank said, fuck it, you're out, and he's had enough. It would not surprise me if it got to the point where he's like, I literally cannot afford you to stay here anymore. I cannot continue to feed you. Get out. That would not surprise me, and Johnny ends up living on the streets. That honestly would not surprise me if that happened.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for not letting me starve. Bro fist for that one. But apparently things are so bad that Hank, he's being supported by his family. And his family is threatening to cut that off because he keeps on funneling that money back to Johnny.
I risk
There's your answer, Xanax.
family not paying my tuition to help Johnny because I believe that helping Johnny was right thing to do.
Oh, fuck.
His mom hates you. Your mom hates you, right?
Yeah. My mom hates you. My
Did you hear that at the beginning? I talked over it. His family is not paying his school tuition in order to help out with Johnny. Hank is not getting an education. Or maybe he is, I don't know, but they said his family stopped paying Hank's tuition in order to help out Johnny. And yeah, his mom, probably his dad too, fucking hates Johnny. Like, this is, it gets, I didn't know that I don't think I realized that Hank's school tuition was not being paid because of, they need to pay for Johnny. Oh, dear, I think they're already starting to cut him off, Sphinx. I'm guessing that his mother has already made the threat to Hank that they're going to be cutting him off. That is my suspicion.
Grandparents hate you.
And you said, despite all that,
Despite
he's
all
my
that.
friend, and wrong is being done to him, and I'm going to make sure that he gets out of Korea safely.
Yeah.
It's the real
I mean, bro.
Why would you ever destroy your own life and ruin your standing with your own family over Johnny? This is clearly someone who's only using him because he has no options left. But that is still not stopping Hank from allegedly pulling some strings to get Johnny a new attorney. But apparently this attorney isn't from the big leagues. He is an attorney. That's about it.
So he's got both a public defender that was originally covering his his Western District case, and a private lawyer, which was on the East, which is now registered in the West. So we're going to talk about this lawyer.
Oh, he registered.
So we have, we actually predicted who this lawyer
Oh my
was.
God.
We had a leak. Ramsey gave a leak about who this lawyer was. We now know officially the lawyer is Choi Gwang-ho. Or Gwang-ho Choi. Choi is his family name. So that is the lawyer that has registered. He is a tax attorney. He is a tax attorney. He has not been inside a criminal courtroom in 20 years.
Far. Oh, he is so fucked. Well, I mean, he retired from public defender and has been in tax law for 20 years. And has not been on the inside of a courtroom for 20 years. And he's going to defend Johnny. Yeah. J10, I don't fucking know. Too much? Like, this is, again, another expense. This is another fucking... Okay, Andrea? At least Saul Goodman was a defense attorney. This isn't even a defense attorney. This is a tax attorney. Like, at this point, they wish they had Saul Goodman level strict law attorney. That's a defense attorney. Yeah, it's possible he maybe just be doing it for the clout. Like, he's probably gonna tell them, plead guilty. My guess is that this private attorney, Gwang-ho Choi, is likely going to tell him, throw yourself on the mercy of court, beg for mercy, that is your only option. That is my suspicion. When they go into court, I think there's going to be a trial. I think he's going to plead guilty because this attorney's going to tell him, dude, you've got no fucking shot here. You literally gave the prosecution thousands more evidence than they actually needed to convict you. You're fucking done. Because leave us not forget, the prosecution Johnny has provided the prosecution literally with all the evidence. Johnny himself has provided the prosecution with literally all the evidence they could ever dream of. There is no shot that he's going to win this. And that's why his attorney is probably telling him, you're going to go in there and you're going to basically throw yourself on the mercy of the court and you are going to beg for leniency and pray that the judge doesn't just decide to go, yeah, you fucked around, now you're finding out.
Let me say that one more time. He has not been inside a criminal courtroom in 20 years. He is a tax attorney. So what probably happened, and this is something that we said, was this is probably a friend of Hanky Poo's family who got put on this case.
And apparently his entire legal strategy for the deepfake charge has been a complete flop.
His whole big legal talk, his whole big legal strategy was, we're going to settle with Bong Bong. We're going to settle with the female victim. We're going to pressure her. And they wanted to threaten her because she showed the image on her stream as well. But she showed it to show how mad she was about it, being like, this is wrong, right? So he tried to blackmail the victim. And not only did that fail, it literally backfired in his face.
Yes.
When he tried to blackmail the female victim, the prosecutors probably saw this and said, oh, hell no, we're going to
Yup.
double down and give you another one. And by the way, there will be no settlement on that one because it's with the Korean YouTubers that you are literally attacking and threatening with defamation. Remember, guys, Hank and Johnny have been threatening to sue the Korean YouTubers and myself, by the way, threatening to sue me with defamation in Korea. Do you think that people that you threatened to sue, and you are suing, you literally said you're suing them, you were threatening Dalgoon, you're threatening other people, do you think they're going to come to some settlement with you? By the way, that doesn't even really work in Korean court. Even if they were to say, oh yeah, we agree, they still, the prosecutor could still bring it.
I mean, the issue with Johnny
He's
is
fucking
most
done.
of what he says is hot air. Unfortunately for him, the judge and
And I'm going to point out all the excuses that he's made about it's the alcohol. The alcohol be making me act like a fool. I gotta get off the alcohol because it make me act like a fool. This wasn't the alcohol. Alcohol had no factor in this. This was him and his attorney literally trying to blackmail someone and getting caught and catching a charge for it. This is literally them trying to blackmail and intimidate a witness to dropping a charge, and they got caught. Why this attorney thought it was a good idea if the attorney was actually a part of this? If the attorney actually was a part of this and said, we're going to do this, I could say, well, or actually, that's where I'm going. It was him and Hank not... Okay, the way Legal Mindset was putting it, I thought it sounded like the attorney might have been involved in doing that as well. But maybe I was just misunderstanding what he was saying. Hang on.
You were threatening Dalgoon. You're
hang on.
Defamation. Remember, guys.
Wait.
We're going to double down and try to blackmail the...
I want to hear...
We're going to settle with Bong Bong. We're going to settle with the female victim. We're going to pressure her. And they wanted to threaten her.
Okay.
Hanky Poo's family...
Okay, this was it, I think. Hang on.
Put on this case.
And apparently his entire legal strategy
this
for the
could be
deepfake charge has been a complete flop.
His whole big legal talk, his whole big legal strategy was, we're going to settle with Bong Bong. We're going to settle with the female victim. We're going to pressure her. And they wanted to threaten her because she showed the image on her
stream. That sounds like it was
the
attorney.
But she showed it.
That sounds like it was the attorney. The attorney's plan. Listen to what he says there in the beginning.
The deepfake charge has been a complete flop.
His whole big legal talk, his whole big legal strategy was...
That sounds like he was talking about the attorney was doing it. That 100% sounds like it was the attorney's idea to do this. Well, he was saying, and he was saying their legal talk, their legal strategy. Now, maybe I could be wrong. We're kind of catching the snippet here, but it sounds like the attorney spearheaded this idea. Which, again, that's where I was going with. Is this going to get this attorney disbarred? I could easily see this causing the attorney to catch his own charge or be disbarred if the attorney was in on this or suggested the strategy. So Johnny could potentially be taking down another person in addition to Hank. In addition to ruining Hank's life, if the attorney did indeed suggest doing this, then you're going to have a second person that's going down, all because of Johnny. Well, yeah, your dog. He called Hank his wannabe lawyer, but he prefaced all this conversation with the attorney. So that's why I'm thinking, well, maybe it was his attorney that was doing this. Now, again, they could be mistaken. He could have been saying that his legal talk, his legal strategy, he could have been referring to Hank. I don't know. That's why I'm saying if the lawyer spearheaded this, if this was the lawyer's legal strategy, he's probably fucking done and probably likely get disbarred. If, keyword there, if it was the lawyer.
Fortunately for him, the judge and prosecutor might not know that because he's made a bunch of threats and he's said a lot of stupid stuff. So it's safe to say this.
Wait, I missed something there.
The prosecutor could still bring it.
I mean, the issue with Johnny is most of what he says is hot air. Unfortunately for him, the judge and prosecutor might not know that because he's made a bunch of threats and he's said a lot of stupid stuff. So it's safe to say this backfires tremendously on this guy. Because let's be real, all he had to do after he got caught, even after making all the mistakes in Japan and all the mistakes in Israel, and I guess all the mistakes in Korea, once they charged him formally, all he had to do was shut up, apologize, be respectful, and he probably would have gotten left off with somewhat of a slap on the wrist. Instead, he does the polar opposite. He disrespects the judge, the prosecutor, the victims, the people covering it, and the Korean citizens. That's not going to give you any leniency with a judge. I mean,
and not only that, he basically said, fuck y'all, I'm going to continue getting drunk, I'm going to continue being an absolute public menace, and get arrested over and over and over again. Because don't forget, all of these public drunken adventures that result in the police getting called on him and he gets arrested again and again and again, this happened after his first case went to court and he pled guilty. This is after that. He did this. When he already knew that they had charges waiting in the wings. They were literally waiting for this first court case to conclude with him being found guilty so they could take all these charges hanging out, waiting patiently, and dump them on top of his head so he could be labeled as a repeat offender. And even still with all that, he still continued to go out, he still continued to strain, and still continued to just be a complete fuckwad and get arrested over and over and over again. Banshee, they're hunting him down now. He still has the metaphorical bounty on his head in South Korea. There are people still gunning for him, metaphorically, in South Korea. That is why one of the videos we watched, Hank told him to go inside and stay there because when Hank went to go get a massage, because if Johnny goes out on his own, not only is he going to cause trouble, but he will have, the South Korean people still basically they're still looking to come after him. He's still being hunted, effectively speaking, in South Korea by the citizenry. And that's why he basically cannot be out on the street alone. And let us not forget, the people of South Korea know that the people of America backs them up when it comes to beating the fuck out of Johnny. Leave us not forget, the Korean SEAL that fucking Spartan kicked Johnny into oblivion before beating the fuck out of him. Leave us not forget, he got arrested, he got charged, he got fined. Legal Mindset set up a GoFundMe or he did something and got like $3,000 of it. And then Donut said, hold my beer, and paid $4,000 to finish off his fine for the South Korean SEAL. So the South Korean people know, you beat the fuck out of Johnny, you've got major fucking streamers in the United States that will 100% back you up and pay your legal fees. The South Korean people know this. So yeah, that's why Johnny does not go anywhere alone, and he's basically off the street at night because people are hunting him, effectively speaking.
The dude is just playing the worst cards possible as a social experiment to see how the Korean justice system will handle that. But for every day that passes, it seems like the penalty is going to be harsher and harsher. Then to make things worse for himself, apparently, he lost a lawyer.
Just today, we had the public defender step down. Now, that is likely they were actually removed from the case. That means they weren't the ones who petitioned it. It was the court that did it, probably because he no longer qualifies for a public defender. When you have a private attorney, that typically disqualifies you from having a public defender. So it appears that he was disqualified from that.
So now the case will...
Wait. Hold up. His attorney did go to civil court at least 5 times and lost every single one of his cases. So every case his lawyer went to court with, he lost. Oh, this is fucking beautiful.
From that,
So now, the case will be even more expensive for Johnny, or Hank, depending on who's footing the bill here. And Legal Mindset also issued a correction here saying the attorney has actually been to court 5 times in the last 20 years, or at least 5 times. But apparently he's lost all 5 of those cases. So Johnny has now hired a guy who's gone 0 for 5 over the last 20 years. And he's still acting up during his trial. I mean, by the way, Johnny is acting, you would have thought, hey, he hired some big league attorney with this big boy crypto money he has. But the reality is different. And as I stated previously, he's now admitting that it's not worth it anymore. He's banned on Kick. That was the platform he could actually make decent money on.
99%, Dwayne.
He's definitely not going to take him back. And we learned that from Ice Poseidon.
In the long run, do you think that is worth it?
At this point, no.
So now Johnny is permanently banned on Kick. He's also permanently banned from Patreon, apparently, and Airbnb.
Oh, yeah.
I'm permanently banned from Patreon.
Airbnb.
Permanently banned from Airbnb. I don't even know how. Somebody sent some kind of article to Airbnb. Permanently banned from Airbnb.
So it's hard for him to make a living streaming. It's harder for him to
God.
collect donations, and it's hard for him to...
Well, and legally, he's not supposed to be streaming for money in South Korea. It's not even that it's hard for him to make money from streams. He's not supposed to legally be making money. By the courts, he cannot work in South Korea. So if he streams, it's not going to him, it's going to Hank. Chances are that is why he's getting, chances are is how he's getting around being able to stream, is if he's streaming, he's probably streaming from Hank's account, and the money is going into Hank's bank account, not his. So he's basically streaming for free. He's making no money off of the streams. At least, the 10 cents that he gets from his streams these days. Because let's face it, he's not getting... Party's not even paying him. The last I heard... excuse me. The last I heard, Party is not even paying him. He has not owned enough donations on Party to be paid. His streams are so small, his donations are so tiny in number that Party will not pay him. From what I have heard, you have to receive a certain dollar amount in donos before Party will pay out to you, and he hasn't made that. So he's not even making money from the one platform he can still stream on, which is Party. Banabate, what are you talking about, Banabase, Death Star? No. I don't know that Hank is streaming on Kick. I'm just saying whatever streaming platform Hank uses, Johnny is streaming on that, and the banking information is for Hank. It's not Johnny's banking information. Because if the money went into Johnny's account, he'd be in violation of the court order of working in Korea. Because if they can prove he's making an income in Korea by any money going into his bank account, that's violation of the court order. If it goes directly into Hank's account, that's probably the little workaround they can do, so he could stream and get money to go to Hank, and which obviously Hank's paying for everything now anyway. Is it his YouTube account? Okay. Yeah, I think YouTube is more flexible than like Kick and Twitch is when it comes to like the whole ban evasion. Like if I was to bring a banned streamer, if I was to bring like a Twitch banned streamer onto my stream, I could catch a ban for that, because I cannot bring a banned streamer onto my Twitch channel, because that would be considered a ban evasion by that streamer. YouTube, it's not the same thing, I don't think. So it's a little bit different. The fact is, he's streaming a Party, and Party's not even paying him. That's the hilarious part. He's doing all the streaming, and Party does, and he's not making any money off of it.
To live somewhat cheap, because Airbnb is a good way to live cheap when you're long-term staying abroad. So his options here are Hank's place or expensive hotels. That's tough. But that was the quick Johnny Smalley update. I will return home soon, so I'm not recording the next video in the West End Business Center here in Boston. And I'll be back in my studio with my microphone that everyone says looks kind of sus. But hey, It's a whole lot better than the phone.
It does
But
kind of look
hopefully
like a
the phone
certain
makes do for now. If you're new here, feel
machine.
free to subscribe. YouTube thinks you'll enjoy this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, oh, he is so fucked. He's so fucked, it's glorious. It is fucking glorious. I'm just waiting to hear. I am just waiting to hear that Johnny got kicked out. That's what I'm waiting for.